Raku dates back to the 16th century, when Emperor Hideyoshi hired the influential Korean tea master, Senno Rikyu, to develop ware for the refined Zen Buddhist tea ceremony. The name Jurakuyaki was the name given to this ware, and Raku was the name given to the family that produced these pots for generations continuing today. The pots must be fired to bisque temperature, glazed, and be very dry to withstand the thermal shocks of the process. Our kiln is a humble trash can adapted by lining it with kao wool, a fireproof ceramic fiber blanket, for insulation. The heat source is an ordinary weed burner, and the source of heat is a barbecue-sized propane tank. From humble, homemade components to the magic of spectacular Raku pots. The glazes are dry and powdery looking when they are put in the kiln. With the heat, the glazes get bubbly and begin to look like orange peel. When the kiln reaches 1800 degrees, the glazes look smooth and shiny and molten and ready to come out. The magic of Raku glazes occurs when the pots with molten glaze are subjected to a reduction atmosphere in the kiln and put in a container of combustible materials and allowed to flame and then burn and smoke in a closed can. The molten pots are taken out of the kiln with tongs. Everything is hot. It's a good idea to put the shredded newspaper in a metal container, as pink plastic is not meant to be fire resistant. We have lots of tricks up our Raku sleeves. We fire horsehair Raku. We fire pots with copper and iron sulfates in foil saggers. This is a naked Raku pot. An unglazed pot is encased in wet slip and put in the kiln. The clay dries and cracks, and the fire gets into the cracks to create black, smoky patterns on a white background. Once the lids are on, the wait begins. With the regular glazed pots, you can peek after 15 or 20 minutes, or until you need the cans for the next round of pots, or until you can't wait any longer to see the magic. Pots with a high copper content turn spectacular shiny greens and reds, depending on how reduced the glaze is and where the combustible fire hit the surface. Every pot will need a little scrubbing to get rid of the surface carbon to reveal the beauty of the glazes.
That's good reduced copper. This is the oxidized side. But we never know what it's going to do. It could do just about anything.
The cleanup crew must be vigilant, as burning bits of paper can fly about in the wind and cause trouble. This day, at the Fire and Ice first Saturday in Frederick, we had permission to fire along the creek with milling crowds, incredible wind gusts, and 22-degree temperatures. We wanted to make sure everything would be perfect so we can come back again and often. Cleaning up the pots reveals even more of the beauty of the glazes. Starve the kiln of oxygen and you get brilliant reds. Adding more oxygen gives the brilliant greens.
Oh, hear that crackling? That's how you know it's cooling down.
It's some kind of magic to get the gray and white pot to a brilliant green and red.
So where you see the more coppery areas and the reds, that's where we've had good reduction. The other side is more oxidized because copper does this, and it can go to like a really Caribbean blue, like what's on the table there, to this green in oxygen, and more of this when it's in reduction.
After about an hour of firing, seconds of transferring molten glazed pots to cans, throwing in the combustibles to create the fire, and patiently waiting for the pots to cool, you can take your beauties home this same glorious day. This film was produced with a grant from the Frederick Arts Council. Our thanks to Frederick Downtown Partnership and Potters Guild of Frederick members Beth Ellen Berry, Abigail Greer, Janet Greer, and Ann Hobart. Video production and narration by Jack Rome. Narration script by Ann Hobart. The Potters Guild of Frederick was founded in 2007 with the mission of promoting high standards in both expressive and functional ceramic art to exchange ideas, provide educational opportunities in the ceramic arts to stimulate community interest, and provide a sales venue for its members. The Guild is a nonprofit 501c3 membership organization open to the general public. Visit pottersguildoffrederick.com to learn more.